Even though Belichick has won 5 rings with Tom, Max, do you think he'd rather have Rodgers?
Of course. Listen, I love the way Bill Belichick thinks. Even being asked that question, he sees it as a problem to solve. Every new game as a problem to solve. Okay, we're facing this quarterback. How do I beat him? I've never had to face Tom Brady, Bill Belichick says, so I've had to try to figure out how to beat Tom Brady the same way as if I was facing him. So Belichick's real success as a coach and GM comes from the fact that he takes an unsentimental, sober view and evaluates the players. You mean to tell me he wanted Jimmy Garoppolo instead of Tom Brady, but he wouldn't want Aaron Rodgers instead of Tom Brady going into every season? It's not that Belichick would trade his past with Tom Brady for a past with someone else. They've won 5 Super Bowls together. And they're in the Super Bowl every other year, and they win more than half of those. So, of course, you wouldn't trade the past. But heading into any one of those seasons, if Aaron Rodgers were available to be his quarterback and he could presto changeo, change Tom Brady into Aaron Rodgers, he'd have done it because Aaron Rodgers allows him to do more things.
First of all, my apologies to Teddy Bruschi because he probably is annoyed that he even has to be a part of this discussion. So my apologies to him.
I appreciate that, Stephen A.
So I understand. But secondly, and more importantly, I think, listen, Max, you're wrong. And here's why you're wrong. Because, as usual, you nuance everything. Because I'm going to use that word against you.
That's our word of the
That's
day.
nuance.
You nuance everything.
That's nuance.
That's just me messing with you. The point is, I'm just saying, Tom Brady is Tom Brady. We get that. Aaron Rodgers is an absolute superstar. My problem with your assertion and your analysis, rather, is that you're thinking strictly football. With Bill Belichick, somebody like him, you can never think about that. It's about the relationship you cultivate with one another. It's about the trust factor. It's about intangibles like leadership, galvanizing the troops around you, not necessarily freelancing, allowing him to exercise control freak tendencies whenever he chooses to. Aaron Rodgers, I'm not trying to imply that Aaron Rodgers is somebody that's not coachable or anything like that. I would never insult the man that I consider to be that bad man that he is, the greatest quarterback that I've ever seen with my eyes. But what I'm saying is when it comes to somebody like the Bill Belichicks of the world, there's so much more than talent that goes into it. Personality has a lot to do with it. And when you consider the storylines that have circulated over the last couple of years, the questions about the relationships or so on and so forth, could you imagine if Aaron Rodgers was in that predicament instead of Tom Brady? Teddy Bruschi, that's how I'm looking at it. I'm not looking at just the football. I'm looking at the nuance of it all. I'm looking at the relationship that they have with one another, meaning Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. And to me, you cannot ask whether you prefer one over the other when the one that you have, Max, has delivered 5 Super Bowl championships and 8 trips to the Super Bowl, and the likelihood is that you would have had a better relationship with him in terms of getting somebody to march along your line of thinking as opposed to going with an Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, well, I hear you both. And, first off, a couple things in terms of Aaron Rodgers as a player. And, I mean, for me, am I biased? Probably, of course, yes. I mean, I've won multiple championships with Tom Brady, so having to have that much more intimate knowledge of Tom is going to sway me in terms of how I see him and winning championship with him being a good friend of mine. Watching Aaron Rodgers is special. I mean, he does things that are so amazing at that quarterback position. I don't want to discount the greatness Aaron Rodgers is as a player. Bill Belichick as a coach, the man that's always 3 steps ahead, always looking towards the future, always looking towards the next game or the next player or the next play or the next player he may need to bring in. Very few players have proven him wrong. Very few players have shown him something that he just could not anticipate. And Tom Brady is that one. For Tom Brady being able to go through the various draft picks being used, the 4th rounders, the 5th rounders, the 3rd rounders, the 2nd rounders, all on quarterbacks, seeing, I know what my coach is thinking. Knowing I know what he's thinking and he thinks I'm on my way out. And to continually prove his own head coach wrong to the point where you finally have someone that you think is the right person in Jimmy Garoppolo, but I go out there and win the MVP. So proving him wrong and making him stay, having him no choice but to say, all right, boom, I got to keep this guy because when have I ever had a 41-year-old MVP? That type of showing of the head coach takes a mental toughness that is rare. To play under Bill Belichick for 18 years has got to be a grind. That's what I'm saying. Do I think Aaron Rodgers could even survive that? I don't know. I don't know if there's many football players, even quarterbacks, yeah, those mentalities, to deal with Bill Belichick and the constant pressure that he puts on you for 18 years. That's the difference right there.
Well, Teddy, the difference is Tom's done it. So it's all guessing about Aaron Rodgers.
Do you think Aaron Rodgers would have lasted 18 years with Bill Belichick?
It's hard. That's hard. It's impossible to know.
No, with his
I would say yes,
though,
because
Matt.
I think they would have such absurd, stupid success together. Because I think Rodgers is better than Brady. So whatever success he's had with Brady, he had more with Rodgers. But
how do you think Rodgers would have taken it when a second-round pick was used for a quarterback?
Probably he would have been motivated by it, and good luck taking Aaron Rodgers' job.
How do you think, let me ask the question
Yep.
too, Max. How do you think Aaron Rodgers would have taken it if all the reports were circulating that Bill Belichick wanted you gone because Jimmy Garoppolo
He may not
was
have
the heir
had.
apparent?
He may not have had Brady's longevity. It's possible. It's unknowable. My point. That's why I think about it like this, Teddy. Going into every season, had he had the choice, I can get that guy or I can bring it. I think he'd have swapped. Because it's like when they asked him about Lawrence Taylor. Let's not forget, Bill Belichick was the defensive coordinator for the New York Football Giants when LT was in his prime and essentially the captain of the defense. LT was a difficult personality in certain ways, right? The drugs off the field, etc. But Bill Belichick, looking at each game like a problem to solve, says, him, LT, that's the best I've ever seen. I want that guy. Even now, try to bring up anyone else and compare him to LT, see what Belichick says. And I believe going into any given season, if he had the choice to get Aaron Rodgers, he'd do it. He's the LT of quarterbacks.